What's the motherfucking deal, YouTube? This your boy, Coach Donte in the motherfucking building. What you guys today, man? Here we got a Giants and Eagles matchup this weekend, this coming Sunday. Big game for the Eagles, man. The Saints lost. The Eagles can jump in front of the Saints with a win this weekend. And we got the Giants, man, that's going through some right now coaching decisions, turmoils right there. There is Daniel Jones, the guy, and I got a great panel, and I got me a special guest referee in the motherfucking building. So I'm gonna bring up the bad guys because we gotta go against the bad guys this week. So I'm gonna bring these guys up, but these guys are my guys. They're my friends. I'm gonna bring up my boy Joel, man. He's a mentor to me. He does college basketball, and this guy's a smart mind. So I'm gonna bring up the bad guys because we going against the bad guys. Them Cowboys got spanked this weekend, so we gonna meet the bad. We gonna meet the bad guys first, man. We gonna meet these bad men first, right here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today, man?
Hey,
Yo, we're doing great, man. Hope you had a beautiful Thanksgiving,
Man, I
Dante.
had an awesome Thanksgiving.
Beautiful.
Anytime them Cowboys get beat, man, it's an awesome
It,
Thanksgiving, man. Yeah, man. So these are the bad guys, the New York Giants. So I'm gonna bring up my partner, man, my partner, man, is gonna help me go against these bad guys, and I'm gonna bring in my special enforcer, and I will be on this podcast after this, but I'm gonna bring up my partner that's gonna help me fight these bad guys, my boy, Big Three. What's going on, my guy?
what's going on, my guy? How we doing? Hey, what's
We
going
doing
on,
a great
fellas?
job. We doing a great man, great man. Cowboys lost. It puts us in the dough. So we get ready to bring up one of my favorite guys, man. Everybody on this panel, my favorite guys. Man, this man, me and this guy right here, we bonded so much close. And I'm gonna be on this show after this coming podcast, man. On the very next podcast, the special enforcer. He knows basketball, football, everything. He's a Patriots fan. My boy from the ASOP Sports Network. Pride, how you doing,
Cool.
boy? How you
Cool.
doing,
And
Pride?
by the way, when you say Patriots, let's just lay the groundwork. I am a fan of the greatest organization to ever grace God's green earth
that got owned by
that
Elon
is
Musk.
being led by the greatest coach to ever put on a hoodie with short sleeves and Bill Belichick, the former home of the greatest quarterback to ever breathe,
Eli
Thomas
Manning's son.
Edward Patrick Brady. Now, he has a father. We're not talking about the father. We're talking about the son, Junior. We gonna go
Hey, that's a
Did
great
you give him
introduction.
an extra middle name?
No, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's my
Yeah,
dad.
of course, he know the man whole name. So
You gotta
we gotta
cover the
get
birth
into this.
certificate.
We gotta get into the turmoil that's going on with the New York Giants because you know me and Vic, we these are the bad guys. Look at Logan reaction. Hey, that's a good haircut by the way on on the thing. Look, oh there you go. Look there, look at that haircut. So again, okay, so I'm gonna come to the Giants people first, man. The bad guys first. So again, I'm gonna go towards Joel. I'm gonna go towards Logan. Then Benny, we gonna come down to you. Then we on Eagles fans. We gonna give our thoughts, and you know my special enforcer gonna give his thoughts on this. So Joe, this season, you know, I mean, you fired Coach Jason Garrett this last weekend after the loss against Tampa Bay. Y'all been going through a lot of ups and downs this weekend. So I mean, what's going on in New York? What's going on in New York? So this is a question for all three y'all, all three of the bad guys. What's going on in New York? And do you still? I know you're a big Daniel Jones guy,
Yep.
and you got faith in Daniel Jones, and I think it's still something a little bit right with Daniel Jones. What what does it take to fix Daniel Jones, and what do you? Well, give me a chance that you can win this game this weekend against the
well,
Philadelphia Eagles.
I was on with another content creator yesterday, and the best way that we can put it, and it really was a good explanation, is the student is only as good as the teacher.
To any disability.
When we look at Daniel Jones under Shermer, he you know what he fumbled, okay, but he had 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Okay, you look at this year, what does he have? 9 touchdowns, 6 turnovers. But I mean, one of those was a halftime Hail Mary. There's a cut, so you could drop it down, but you know what, it's 9-6. It is what it is. And if the student is only as good as the teacher, either two things are possible. either the teacher's bad or the student has a disability.
Danny disability.
Okay, and I know everybody in the chat was going Danny disability last night. You know what? It was funny, but okay. Look, what it comes down to is who's the real problem, and we don't have anybody else to go off of that. Me and Logan did a film breakdown of Daniel Jones's year one. He was making throws. He was moving around. He was reading a defense. He knew right where he wanted to go with the ball. If he saw that mismatch, he looked the guy and waited for him to get open, got the ball there, and took a shot afterwards, because that offensive line was worse than what we got now, which is hard to believe. It really is hard to believe. So when I look at a guy that like Jason Garrett, that we are not – Tampa Bay knew every play we were running. When you don't have any ingenuity, when you're not hiding scheme, when you're 4th and 2 and your 2-star wide receivers are on the sideline and Galladay and Tony, and we're out there with Slayton and a tight end that we just signed off the practice squad, what quarterback can survive behind that? Will Hernandez had a pass block rating of 6, not 60. 6. A traffic cone could have done better than that. Nate Solder had Booker help him on a chip block, and Nate Solder still wound up on his ass on against a guy that was 80% with a torn rotator cuff. I mean, come on.
50, man.
What's he supposed to do? I mean, we saw that game. He was getting pressure every play. Hernandez can't pick up a stunt to save his life. The only lineman that we have any good is Andrew Thomas. One guy is, I just look at the situation that he's been put in, and that's why I'm a Daniel Jones supporter, because I believe he can be better than that. Because if we look at the Saints game, when he had a little bit of time, he was moving the ball down the field. He wasn't making stupid mistakes. He wasn't turning it over, and then it comes out that Daniel Jones had no say in the offense whatsoever. He had no control. If you have no control, that's hamstringing you right off the bat. There's video of Daniel Jones playing the line of scrimmage, and Jason Garrett's just scowling at him, shaking his head, going, "No, don't do that." And it's a 9-yard gain. So until I see DJ in a different situation, he's a giant. He's my guy, my team. I'm going to root for him, and I'm going to stand up for him. Now, this next 7 weeks is definitely it has to be a turning point. We have to see progress. We have to see him make reads. We have to see him make throws. Now he finally has a wristband on his arm. Now, you know what? He has control. I'm a firm believer now that he has control of this offense, the play calling, but we're still behind Hernandez and Solder. So the starting lineup for Sunday is going to be really huge, because if Pert's out there and let's say Isaiah Wilson's out there on the right side, they've got to be better than what we saw last week. They have to be. Nobody could be worse than that. I mean, you put those two guys out there, they're at least going to give effort. And we're not seeing effort from the right side of that line.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What up, my boy Peloton, Rams fan, man? We got to get back into it, man. We got to link up again. Peloton, what's up, Zach? What up, Slay? What up, my boy JC? What up, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got a big panel, man, up here. My boy Big 3 helping me fight these bad guys up here. So, Logan, man, give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts, Logan.
I'm just gonna put it as blunt as possible. I'm completely opposite from Joel. Daniel Jones is fucking trash. I just have to put it as blank as possible. All right, man. I did a film breakdown of this guy a few days ago. There was this play where Daniel Jones missed Kenny Galladay literally streaking down the sideline in the Tampa Bay game for a 40-yard touchdown. There was another play where Galladay was open over the middle of the field for a touchdown. In another game, there was a play where Kadarius Toney was open for a 30-yard touchdown. So, Joel, I get where you're coming from. Daniel Jones is our quarterback. We have to support the guy. That doesn't mean I have to like him, but I want him to do good. I just don't think he's going to do good. But sadly, we have to keep him for next year because we can't draft a quarterback that high unless we're idiots. So if we draft some good old linemen and Daniel Jones still does bad, then he's just a bad quarterback. That's the way I look at it. But if we get some old linemen, we get an edge rusher. The Giants could be decent next year. But if Daniel Jones still sucks, he's not the guy.
Well, you want to put your eyebrows on the line this time instead of your hair?
Yo, please do. Please do.
I admit it. What you got on
Got
this,
you
man?
looking like Neo out here.
But yeah, my thoughts on Daniel Jones. He's definitely an interesting player. Right now, I don't know, man. I just feel like he's just like Daniel Jones. He just doesn't seem to be the guy. But I will say one thing is that we should definitely be having him next year because here's the two reasons in my opinion. Actually, there's like 3 reasons. One is that this year's quarterback class I do not trust at all. There's no like clear prospect. 2, even if there was a good prospect, we're throwing them into a horrible situation. Like we know the offensive line is horrible, so unless we do something magical, we're gonna need to use one of those first round picks that we probably have to use on a quarterback or the
I want to
money.
use 2.
Yeah, like so we'd have to use it on the offensive line and all. There's no reason to put investment into something when we don't even have the capableness for it. And then the third thing also about why we should keep Daniel Jones. Some people do want to have a bridge quarterback, but in my opinion, that doesn't make any sense. Like, look, the only reason we should bring on the bridge quarterback is if there's some type of toxic relationship, or if we want to save money, which neither of those is a problem right now. So, I feel like Daniel Jones should be for next year.
My boy, Big 3. What you got on this Big 3?
Listen, man, the Giants are going through it this season. From the onset, training camp, there's fights going on. The announcement of retirements, injuries. Anything and everything that could go wrong with the team has went wrong with the team. You got to kind of feel bad for them what they're going through. I mean, like they had a defense going into the season that you thought would improve, and it regressed. Again, I don't know what the reason for that is. That could be coaching staff, players. Again, you could blame injury on that also because what is it? Blake Martinez, I believe he's out for the season.
Yep,
that's a huge blow to that team. That guy was their tackling machine. You take away 100 tackles. You know what I mean? That's a lot of room for error for a team. You know what I mean? Right. But when you look, like as Joe said, when you talk about their offensive line, yeah, it's the worst in the league. You got to give them that award. It's the worst. That right side is so horrible. It's not just one specific player. It's just that multiple mistakes, mental errors, week in and week out, being unprepared. Again, for the Giants, and I know they might not want to hear this. You got to clean house from the top to the bottom. Daniel Jones, I would say you would keep him. You should keep him because he's the only guy that's familiar with this offense, familiar with this team. But at the same time, you still need to bring in a first-round pick to compete against Jones. And like the same thing with us that we were saying earlier with Jalen Hurts. If he wasn't able to make it, you bring in a first-round quarterback in there. You have him compete. You have someone breathing down his neck. You got to have them. You got to have someone behind him so that way he can show more on that field because there are times like it was mentioned, Jones has guys open, and it's not like there's a little window there. Guys are wide open. These are game-changing plays that he's giving up. So a lot has to be done on the Giants' end.
The defensive lineman.
Yeah, talk about it, man. Like it's true. Like that defense, like they were top 10 last year at the end of the season. Of course, at the beginning of the year, even last year, they had their issues, but again, they found it out. Their defensive coordinator was credited with a lot of that. Now coming into this year, you would think he would have been on track. He knows what he needs to do, and it was like they reverted to the same thing they did at the beginning of last year, but they haven't caught up yet. That's the biggest issue. He hasn't been able to catch up. He hasn't been able to devise another plan. They're just stuck in this mode of no one knows what to do. And again, you lost your best defender. Your cornerbacks for the most part are pretty much shot. You spent a lot of money back there too. They haven't been able to produce. So like I said, on every end, it's like a leaky valve or a lead to problems. Man, the floodgates are going up with the Giants.
Yep. So my boy Pride, man, what you got on this situation? I will be on this podcast right after this stream. So man, this is a great brother, man. Happy to have him as a special enforcer of this stream right here, because we may have to calm things down the case and just get a little bit. No, we all good, great guys, man. So again, appreciate you guys for being here. Shout out to Tommy for the with the $2 super chat, man. So Pride, what you got on this, man? What you got on this?
One thing. Somebody asked, isn't this the dude who said that stuff about Kobe? You're damn right it is. That's who the fuck I am. And what I
Oh
Yeah,
said,
my
that's him.
God.
That is him.
110%. I don't give a shit.
Yo,
I said
can I
what I
just
said
say,
and I meant it. And every single time it gets brought up, I say the same thing. You ask me that question 10 times, you're going to get the same answer 11. I said what I said and I meant it.
I do
Now,
not want to take this show off track. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
no, we're not going to. We're not going to. I'm quadrupling down on it. I
Listen,
said what
I'll
I
say
said.
this. Everyone has their right to their opinion.
Yeah,
Fans, keep
bro.
yours.
Look,
Keep
buddy.
yours.
One day,
It's a
one
hot
day,
take, though.
I'll apply the context, and when y'all hear me, you won't think I'm ass crazy. You won't think I'm ass crazy, right?
I need
That's
that
what
full
I'm saying. But in
explanation.
terms of Daniel Jones, look, I like Daniel Jones. I'm a Daniel Jones fan. I just think when you put the ball in his hands,
How?
he got balls. How? Because the thing is, I don't hate the Giants. I don't hate the Giants. I really don't. I'm upset that you guys beat us twice, but you guys handled your business. But I don't have this hatred for you guys. If anything, I hated Eli Manning. I hated him in the first half. But outside, and I think it's because he specifically was the one who beat Tom Brady. But Daniel Jones, I like him. And the problem that the Giants had this year was so a lot of it was the play call, right? When you're supposed to be aggressive, you call the plays tentatively. And when you're supposed to be tentative with your play calling, that's when you wanted to be aggressive. And it's bizarre, right? Like, this was the year they needed to open up the playbook, let Daniel Jones do whatever he had to do, and you'll be able to figure out whether or not we keep Daniel Jones or if we try to explore other avenues. That was this year. Now, they've been weird with it because one day they'll let him throw, and then next thing you know, Saquon's out, and they want to run the ball. It's bizarre. It's like he's out. Oh yeah, now let's try to run the ball. It's like, but hold on, bro. Saquon isn't in. Like that's kind of weird, But I like Daniel Jones. I think next year, because if I'm not mistaken, next year is the final year on his contract. If I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
It'll be year 4.
it'll be year 4, right? So yeah, so it'll be the final year. If I think by next year, you're going to have to just open up the playbook, say we don't care about wins or losses for this 1 year. We got to open up the playbook. Let's see what this kid has.
I agree.
Because that's the only way you're going to figure out whether or not you want to continue with Daniel Jones or if you want to try to trade for, say, a Russell Wilson, if you want to try to lure in an Aaron Rodgers, or if you want to go in the draft and get a new guy and just completely rebuild. But it's like this year, like so far, the questions that this team has faced coming into the year, none of them's answered. Like not a single question was answered. And the biggest question was Daniel Jones. Hopefully they kind of get it together and say, you know what, Daniel, let's open it up. Whatever happens. You got to lead us. And again, Daniel Jones doesn't have to look like, the greatest thing since sliced bread. He doesn't have to look like that.
Right.
He just needs to look good enough to where when he has the football in his hands, you're okay with whatever choice he makes, regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome. If you kind of see if he throws that deep pass, you're like, you know what? I can live with it, whether it's caught, whether it's dropped, whether it's overthrown, underthrown, interception, doesn't matter.
Right.
I want, they need to be able to trust, like put enough trust in Daniel Jones so you're comfortable with whatever decision he makes. Now, will it ever get to that point? I don't know. And frankly, I don't think it will. Because unfortunately, I genuinely believe next year, Giants are going to do the same thing again. And then in a panic, they're probably going to overpay Daniel Jones without really knowing, like, really what they have with him. They're not going to know. And again, this was the year that they had to do it. This was the year that they should have just been like, all right, whatever, doesn't matter. But each their own. I'm just glad that I got my good old mac and cheese in New England. Nah, let me stop. Let me not.
Hey.
Nah, I don't think you can keep Daniel Jones the whole season. You can't do that no more. He's been there long enough. It is what it is. He is what he is.
Man,
You think
can
so?
Let me ask you,
Can I
Johnson, are you willing to waste another season? You already got this year shot. How bad do you feel? You're okay with just saying fuck next year?
Well, here's the thing. In terms of figure out whether or not Daniel Jones is the solution, you need to give him a full season only to see if the consistency is there. That's kind of my whole thing with the consistency. Because if he shows up and balls out one game, and then the next game, it's like a roller coaster, you now have that season to be like, look, we like him, he's cool, but the consistency isn't there. You had a season there's really not much consistency. Now we can move on. That's why I'm saying this season. I do understand why people don't want to give him that because he's been here for a while. He should be able to be better. So I do get that point. But again, I genuinely believe, and again, look, they still have him for cheap. I've said this before, Coach. You could back me on this. In terms of offensive, this draft, it's dog shit. Okay, Spencer Rattler got benched, and he's still projected to go in the first round. That right there lets you know how horrible this draft class is, especially for quarterbacks. Especially for quarterbacks.
Yes. Spencer Rattler is trash. He's trash. You're not. Yes. He's
and I
trash.
said this: the only teams that should go for the only teams that should even consider going for a quarterback are like the Rams or the Buccaneers or something like teams that already have the quarterback, and you're willing to have the guy sit back and literally spend years developing. Because all these quarterbacks, I'll be honest, none of them are ready, and none of them are close to ready. If you draft any one of them and expect them to be the savior, you're screwed. You're in for a long season. Forget season. You're stuck for a long 4 years on that rookie contract. So, but and to your point, Brody, like because you said, are you willing to give him a year? What choice are you gonna have? Like that.
Yeah, but everything you just said is what the Giants just did. Are you willing to give a rookie 4 years? The Giants just did that. Now they're still pondering if he's still the guy. That move has been made already. They just did it in Daniel Jones.
But when I say the 4 years, I'm talking about the 4, like with the rookie contract, right? Like
but that's what I'm saying with Daniel Jones. He came in. He has his 4 years. You've seen what you've seen. Is he the guy or is he not? That's the question. Right now it's the season because again, you're looking at the Giants. Their draft. They have a good draft pick. This is the time to move. Next year, who's to say you're going to have that pick? And at that, who's to say who's coming in next year? If we're saying this year's trash, who are we looking at next year? Because I haven't heard anyone, a junior. I haven't heard of a sophomore. No one's blowing down the doors. So if this year's trash, you got to assume next year's going to be worse.
Well,
that's true. That's true.
Well, here's the thing coming from a Giants fan as to what I want, because this offensive line is like really horrific, and I'm not giving up any draft picks. We got a premier future left tackle right now as it stands. So if we go into this draft with our first pick, maybe get a nice edge rusher, the second pick, get an offensive lineman, take our second pick and a couple other, because we have 10 picks this year, move back into the first, like 25, 26, 27, get an interior guy. We've got all those guys locked up on 5-year deals because they're first-round picks. Let's fix the O-line. Let's let Daniel Jones run out there. A, we get to see what he does. B, we get to see what the offensive line's going to look like, because we're probably going to have to bring in a couple of free agents too, because I don't know if Willis and I don't know if Pert and Lemieux are going to be able to be starters in this league. I do not know if Gates is coming back. So we still got a lot of questions on that line, and it doesn't matter if we draft this year or next year. That rookie's still going to be put into the same position Daniel Jones is in right now if we don't draft and fix that offensive line for the next 10 years. We have the chance to fix that whole line this year. And then maybe in the third or fourth round, we're going to need another tight end because Ingram's probably gone. Rudolph's probably gone. Gaten Smith's probably gone. So we don't have a tight end at all. We only have $50 million in cap space next year. It's going to have to be pick and choose and, fill needs and get depth with that cap money. It's not going to be more along the lines of depth than anything right now. So I don't want to bring in a new quarterback. I'd rather run with DJ because right now we're a 500 team. Whether we get a rookie quarterback, whether we bring in another coach, whether we bring in another GM, it's a whole new offense, a whole new scheme. Let's get the guy. I know, look, we got Galladay for 3 years and all of that, but we got Tony for 4. The following draft, I would rather give up a few more picks. But if we get a good pick from the Bears in this draft, or if ours is good, either or, let's say we get the top 5, if we trade down and get future capital next year, we're still going to get 2 quality offensive linemen. We get Linderbaum. We can get the kid from Georgia. We can get, there's other edge rushers besides Hutchinson and the kid from Oregon. This is a heavy draft class with edge and O-linemen. This is the draft to fix those positions. Right now, we don't have a stud defensive end that can get to the freaking quarterback. I like Ojulari and I like Quincy Roche, but they're still rookies. And not only that, let's look. We thought that Lorenzo Carter and Oshane Ximines were going to be good coming off their rookie year. What if those guys next year bust out? They're not good. We've seen it before. Why can't it happen again? So there's just way too many questions right now to even worry that, you know what, Daniel Jones has 3 years of experience and he's not that expensive.
All right. So Vic, here go a question for you, and then I'm gonna come back with the Giants with the bad guys question of themselves. Vic, the Eagles will win this game cause.
No, they're not.
They'll win this game because of defense. Defense will be attacking that offensive line like we discussed, that weak offensive line. And they'll be attacking early and they'll be attacking often. And let me just stop because that last comment's hilarious. But I love the fact that you're calling them villains when you got Lex Luthor over here on top corner. Yeah, don't ever bet against him again. Just take the man's word.
Good. All right. Logan, Vinny, and my boy Joe. Giants will win this game because if they, I'm gonna say if they and cuz, which are in y'all opinion.
I don't think we're gonna win this game, to be honest. But if
he don't got no cuz.
I don't got confidence in this team at all, man. I'm sorry.
What's your confidence level? Give me the reason why you don't have confidence, and give me some reasons why you don't see the Giants winning this football game.
Okay, there's a few reasons that I just don't have confidence in this team right now. Not for the future, but right now. One, we just switched our offensive coordinator, which may seem like a good thing, but it does take time sometimes to change and switch in. Two, our offensive line is horrible. Like Will Hernandez, that was the worst game I think I've ever seen of an offensive lineman. What was his PFF rating again? That was so bad.
6.
That's crazy. I've never seen that before. I used to every day.
You do a better job than him, Ben.
I know exactly. I think I could go in there.
You get 6 points just for lining up. Just by
I used to last year, after every game, I actually like to look through the PFF things. Not because I always love PFF. I like to hear their thoughts on it. I've never seen anything the worst I've seen is a 30 or a 40. I've never seen anything close to that.
The worst I've seen is Trevon Diggs, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, he. But okay, the offensive line is horrible. We cannot get pass rush, which is really disappointing. So that's huge to our defense. We're missing a ton of players, and everybody seems to be banged up with injuries. And then finally, that's actually the main points. And we're having just a lack of good game plan. We're not using our timeouts. Well, that's been better, I guess, the past couple of weeks. And we're not preparing ourselves thoroughly.
Logan, what's your thoughts? What's chance of a percent this Giants team can win? And what Giants will win this game because
Giants beat the Eagles 33-28, but let me explain how. Okay, I'm just messing with you. The Eagles are going to beat our asses. I have no confidence whatsoever. If we can win this game somehow, we got to get to Jalen Hurts, and that's going to be an extremely tough task because of how mobile he is. But if we do somehow manage to win this game, we got to bring down Hurts, which is going to be a tough task with our slow-ass front seven. But that's how we can win this game.
But by the way, guys, Andrew Thomas has more touchdowns than Tony and Galladay combined?
Yeah, because you thought of what he got last week.
Well, they're both not playing, correct?
Galladay was not
they're both out.
Oh, Galladay is
Galladay was.
I don't think Galladay is, but I think Tony's back.
No,
Tony's
not
gone.
playing, but Galladay.
Gone?
Okay.
Yeah, Tony's gone.
There's a lot of injuries on the Giants.
Yeah. Joe, what you got?
Man, listen, okay, this would not be a Giants and Eagles stream unless somebody was willing to get up here and talk some smack. G-Man in the house, okay? We're going to go out there and dominate on a divisional opponent at home. It's Michael Strahan's retirement, retiring his number. These boys better come out fired up with their heads out of their ass. No problem.
So now that you got all that out the way, tell me how you really feel. Tell me what you really think.
How do I really feel? Giants in the house, baby.
That Giants offensive line's going to be open like Strahan's gap. That's how it's going to be.
It's a divisional game. It doesn't matter if a team is 1-14 and the other is 14-1. This is going to be a hell of a game because both teams get worked up for this. This is a rivalry like no other. I can remember going back in the day and they would literally stand on the sidelines and just curse each other out. There was no trading jerseys at the end of the game. This was who could hit who. This was Buddy Ryan had a special play for Lawrence Taylor, did a crackback block on him, and Lawrence Taylor made him pay the price. That's what this type of game is. I can go and there's other games.
I think what you're trying to say is all we got to do is give the Giants defensive line some cocaine and we should be fine.
Exactly. Okay. Pass out 8 balls. I don't care. It's a division game, guys. It's not going to be easy for either team. These guys at one point in time hated each other. Literally. I wish we could get that back. Those games were phenomenal. That was a division rivalry. That's what it was all about. We had Eagles fans that were screaming at their house and just the smack talking and everything that went on. Like I said, it didn't matter if the team was 9-7 and the other was 7-9. It's great to play spoiler, especially in the division.
I'm not even gonna bother you about that because literally this whole time I got my daughter screaming in the background. My fiance is yelling at me because she's mad at me. This one just stopped crying, so it's like all that stuff happening in the background. Don't even trip, bro. Don't even trip.
Hey, dude, I got my granddaughter back here.
I thought that was my daughter. That's why I went out. I thought that was my daughter. That's why I was like, wait, the baby's crying. What's going on? I went in dad mode quick, hold on.
That's what I did.
So, Bryan, you get 2 of them. You get 2 of these, okay? The Eagles will win this game and how confident you feel about the Giants? How can they beat the Eagles this Sunday?
So, first and foremost, I am very confident the Eagles are going to win. However, I will be nice. Let's say in a bizarre world, let me give the Giants any way that they can play. First and foremost, you need to play downhill offensively. You need to play at a quick tempo. If you're kind of
he's gonna beat Will Hernandez.
This is why I don't ever give any respect to the Giants, right? Because every time I try to be objective about this stuff, right? My fiance, y'all can't see her off screen. She's a Giants fan, right? And she's loving this. I'm trying to be nice. She's loving this, and this is this is why I never am nice to them. And that's the illusion of why people think I hate them. I don't hate them. It's just every time I try to compliment them, there's always that one Giant fan that's like, and I love her with all my being, but that's her right now. Look, offensively, downhill. Y'all gotta play downhill, right? Yep. And then defensively, you don't have all you need to do is this: pick your poison. Either Jalen Hurts, you can run as much as you want, or you can pass as much as you want. You basically do what Miami did to the Ravens a couple weeks back. Keep him in the pocket, make him be a pocket quarterback. Right. Now, it's easier said than done. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but that is their best chance because I like Jalen Hurts. One of the big things about him is his dynamism. Him did by dynamic. Bro, every time I try to say that word, it's like I'm having a stroke. Every time. But him being dynamic is kind of what is nice about him because if he rolls out, you don't know if he's going to run or if he's going to throw on the move. And that's a pretty good thing about him. But that's kind of what the Giants are going to have to do. Now, those are 2 tall tasks on both sides of the ball. I don't know if they can do it, but again, it's not like they can just come in, it's going to be a lost cause. There are a couple things they can do to try to at least give themselves a chance, right? And in terms of coaching, you're going to need to open that playbook, and you're going to have to live and die by aggression. Because you're not going to be able to play like a tentative game and think it's going to be fine. You're going to have to go, you're going to have to go off the wall. You're going to have to do some wild stuff, rip off Philly and do a Philly special or something. You guys, they're gonna have to dig deep. They're gonna have to be aggressive. Can they do it? I don't think so. But the Giants aren't necessarily out of options. I do have the Eagles winning. I am a fan of Jalen Hurts. I don't know where all this Jalen Hurts can't play it came from. I don't know, because it's kind of funny. People kill Jalen Hurts because he's only a runner, but then the same reason praise and worships Lamar Jackson. I've never understood that. Like, to me, that's like confusion. Like, you can't sit here and, like, you know, knock down one guy for the same reason you're praising another. You know what I mean? Is there parts of his game Jalen Hurts needs to work on? Yes, of course. But let's also be keeping in context. This is the first year the organization has truly put faith in him. This is the first year where they looked at him and said, all right, Jalen, you're our guy. Let's go. This is the first time. Because before they thought about trading Carson Wentz, people forget about this. There were talks that they were going to they got Jalen Hurts and they were going to trade him. Originally, they wanted to try to keep Carson Wentz happy. Now, whatever happened with that, I don't know. But again, shout out to that boy Jalen Hurts. Yes, the Jalen Hurts haters are the same one. Did you know that Josh Allen is a game manager? Did you know that? And someone looked me in my face and told me, Josh Allen, that dude in Buffalo, is a game manager.
Man, he's the reason why they don't run the ball anymore.
But
Come on,
anyway,
man.
come on, bro. I heard that and I was like, look, man, come on now, do better. But I do have the Eagles. The Giants do have a little bit, like, they have options. They can try to make the game close, but I don't know, especially with the way this entire Eagles team, offense and defense, has been clicking. That's one team I definitely don't want to play right now.
I have one quick statement.
Well,
Go ahead, Logan.
Daniel Jones is a better wide receiver than Jalen Reagor. Back to you.
Well, all right, Dante, I'll give you why I think the Giants
that
can
way
win
was
this
playing the
game.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm going to give you why the Giants are going to win this game. Okay, look, we have plays that work from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line. We move the ball between the 20s.
Yes.
We have good plays, okay?
Yeah.
Look, a lot of it is the disguise, and a lot of it is the plays when we go down into the red zone, okay? Look, I think Freddie Kitchens has something to work from within this Jason Garrett offense. But, you know, you can't run the same play 30 times. And these guys right now, look, it might not be crisp football, but they're going to have different looks. They're going to have different reads instead of the constant curl routes and slant and, you know, this 5-yard stuff. Look, I think you're going to have to get Daniel Jones rolling to his left, get him rolling to his right. You know, let's do some tosses and sweeps. Now, like New England on their first drive, Mac Jones did a toss play to the right on like a 3rd and 4, and people couldn't understand that play. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That might be midfield. Belichick wanting to see something with the defense. Sure enough, we saw something with the defense, and he saw it too. He's like, okay, now I know a play that I can design. And he'd roll the line to the right, come back to the left, and it was wide open. There's a 15-yard gain, easy completion for Mac Jones. That's what we have to see with Daniel, is the same thing what Belichick is doing with Mac Jones. Everybody told me, whose quarterback do you like the most coming out of this draft? I said Mac Jones. I said, especially if he goes to New England, Mac Jones is the best quarterback that's going to come out of this draft that's going to be able to step on that field and win football games. And everybody kind of ha-ha and poo-pooed me. Guess what, man? Look at that. They're number 1 in the freaking division, man. You know, it's an eye test, and that's what I see with Daniel. I see Daniel can do the same stuff that Mac Jones is doing. Only I think that right now Daniel has a better deep ball, but that's because he's been in the league 3 years. That's the only difference I see between him and Mac Jones. So all Joe Judge, a New England guy, has to do is look and see, okay, what are they doing in New England? Relying on the defense, getting field position, special teams play is phenomenal, because when they punted after that toss to the right, it was down inside the 3-yard line. The defense come up, made a play, made a stop. They got the ball back at midfield, went down and scored a touchdown. All right, that's what the game plan is for Belichick, is field position, special teams, and don't ask too much of the quarterback. You know what? Jason Garrett wasn't asking anything of the quarterback. He wasn't. You can see it in play, right?
And you bring up a pretty interesting point that a lot of Giants fans don't really bring up, or actually anyone bring up. The fact that there will literally be 4 or 5 plays in a row that they're literally doing the same play.
Yes.
They're literally doing the same exact play, and that's bad. Because the thing is, and a lot of guys defensively, a lot of starters, they're not stupid. Once they notice it, it automatically becomes easier, like the third time, for them to be like, I know where everyone's gonna be. I know when you're gonna want to throw it. And it's just really a matter of me just stepping in and in essence picking the ball up or batting it down or something.
Right.
Especially when we're trying to do those quick up tempo games. So that's actually kind of funny you said that, because no one has really brought that up. And if you actually watch a Giants game, there have been times that the announcers even said, like, they're kind of questioning, like, wait a minute, didn't we just see this play? Like,
right.
I was questioning you, like, come on, you gotta spice it up just a little bit, bro. Like, spice it up a little bit.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Let me ask the question though. What do y'all expect going forward with Freddie Kitchens? Because we already know his game. Run the ball, tight ends. That's it.
I think it's going to be more between Kitchens and the guy we got from LSU, Logan. What's his name?
Russ Callaway.
I think Callaway and I think that Freddie Kitchens are both been working on this for a while, because this is not something that I believe that one coach could be able to, create a game plan, even if they had 3 weeks. So let's say that Judge had actually the week before the bye said, okay, we're giving Garrett a chance here next week. I want to get rid of him now, but he just come off of a win. I can't get rid of him now. Get you a game plan right now with Callaway. You guys figure out what works, what doesn't work. You get a hold of the players. What do they like to run? Well, I want to know what their weaknesses are, and I want to know what their strengths are that you're seeing right now. Let's get out there and get something developed, because if we lose at Tampa Bay big time, Garrett's going to be gone. Because this Judge is not going to just come out and say, you're fired. He's going to mentally work through everything, which is why he's got all these coaches, which are staged behind these guys for if they get picked up by another team. Okay, I got a guy right behind him I can bring up. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to change nothing. Or they might have a little bit of a twist on it that I like, that, okay, now our defense is going to be a little bit more different, but it's not going to be a huge adjustment for the defense.
I think with Freddie Kitchens, I think this is going to be a good move for them. Real quick, out there, before I let you go.
All right, go ahead.
Right now, this Giants offense needs aggression. What was the one reason people knocked Freddie Kitchens for? Being too aggressive. So I genuinely believe that may work in their favor, because unless you're a guy like Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, you're not going to be able to like ride both the lines. You're not going to be able to. You're either going to have with this team, you either got to be aggressive or tentative. You got to pick one. You either want low school games or high school. You can't. You got to really pick one. With Freddie Kitchens, especially how this team is expected to be aggressive, I think it might help them. And if they just win a couple games, I'm telling you, they're probably going to give Freddie Kitchens the offensive coordinator job. I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be.
Yep. What's up, Miss Bergame? Vic helping me take down these bad guys, man. I got my referee, my boy Pride, man, who I'm gonna be on this podcast after this. So Logan and Benny, and Joe, I'm gonna start with you, Logan. Then you gonna go down to Benny. Then we gonna go to Joe. So after the Buccaneers game, I mean, do y'all think Joe Judge had something to do with Jason Garrett getting fired? And do y'all see Joe Judge staying there next year if this season doesn't break right? Opposing if y'all don't win another game.
Oh, definitely. Joe Judge definitely had something to do with it. I could just picture the phone call right now. John Mara, if you don't fire this man, I'm going to snipe you through a fucking rooftop. So that's what I see, okay? He definitely, I like what Joel said. I figured Judge probably talked to Freddie Kitchens and the other guy and is like, if we lose big time in Tampa Bay, Garrett's gone. So definitely, he had the biggest part in it, in firing Garrett.
Yes, I did see that, Blue City.
And I'll be honest with you, like I'll be honest, I don't think that they were saying, "Oh, should he fire him?" I genuinely believe that they were gonna fire him, and they were like, "Yo, the next loss, you're out." Because again, I think one of you guys said it. You can't fire him after a win. You can't do that, right? So
Right.
they were like, look, hear me out. You're getting out of here unless we magically run the table.
Right.
Okay, but you're playing on borrowed time. I don't know if anyone here watches wrestling, but it's like a few years back when Ric Flair, right? Vince McMahon was like, yo, you lose. This is old Ric Flair, not WCW. I'm talking about old Ric Flair. When he was like, yo, look, the next time you lose a match, you're out of here. And all of a sudden,
I remember that.
It was the same exact thing. They were like, look, the next L, you out of here, and we're gonna throw you out so quick, so fast. You're not even gonna have time to pack your bags. That's how quick we gonna get you up out of here. And by the way, to whoever's stupid enough to get Jason Garrett, you straight up deserve to have your entire organization.
I honestly, the Philadelphia Eagles would love to have him. He's a great coach. I think you guys would love him, bro. He's a great guy.
Hey, so I'm gonna bring it to you, Benny. So again, we all know this was planned to happen after this game if they would have lost. So, I mean, how do you feel about Joe Judge going forward, and do you think he will be here next year if this season continue to go in the shit shell?
Look, I think it's still like a questionable thing if he's going to be there next year or not. I can say for myself, I don't want him to be there next year because I don't think Dave Gettleman's going to be there next year, and I don't want to Yeah, exactly. So if we're getting rid of Dave Gettleman, I kind of just want to I don't want to stick with it. We gotta rebuild. We gotta get new faces in the building, and I just don't think it makes sense to keep doing this because otherwise we could start to go into the circle where we 1 year fire general manager and 1 year fire the coach, and it just always everybody's on track with each other. So I feel like right now, probably fire him. But are they gonna do it? Look, I'll be honest. I don't know if it's gonna happen. If we lose out, definitely it's gonna happen. But if we win a few more games, like I do expect, sadly, I do think the Giants are probably gonna end up holding on to him. I don't like it. So.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. I mean, the office must have some sort of timeline. They have to have some sort of timeline. And they're probably thinking, if not this year, then they're probably going to want to blow it all up and probably have Daniel Jones be there next year on his last year, just so that way he could be a bridge guy, so that way they can get someone in the draft, maybe. But again, it just shows you how crazy it is, bro. Like they brought in all these guys. That wasn't mine. So
at least they got hair.
But I mean, the thing is, when it comes to it, I do expect Daniel Jones to be back. I do, unless they can pull off some blockbuster trade for a big name quarterback. But I do not expect them to, in this draft class, to get a quarterback. I don't expect it, especially with it being relatively weak. There's other holes they can fix that in this draft class would be perfect for them. Like the line and maybe a couple, something on the defense or something like that. So I believe next year we will see Daniel Jones, but you could make an argument that it'll be his last.
All right, so Vic, man, I'm gonna come with you with this question, man. So again, the Dallas Cowboys losing last night, kind of, and the Eagles. If the Eagles win on Sunday, kind of open up the vision for the Eagles, right? Saints losing, so the Eagles go over the Saints just because of the tiebreaker. Do you see the Eagles with this schedule winning out and making a playoff push, or either getting closer to that division race?
I think in the direction we're headed because of the last 3 games, like our momentum, we're going to be making a serious push. This Giants game is our first step. Depending on how we, if we win and how we win this game is going to dictate, how strong of a push we're going to make. Because if we show a strong game against the Giants, that momentum is going to carry us going forward. And the fan base, the team, the coaching staff, everyone's going to, that's going to increase. Now, say if we stay in this game, because that's the one thing I do have to say, and someone made a comment before, you can't get too far ahead of yourselves because that's one thing the Giants are good at. Giants are good at making teams play to their level. I've seen that a lot, even with the Tampa Bay game. You've seen a lot of teams playing down to the Giants' level. They're very good at that. They stay in games. They have potential to win games. So that's something the Eagles got to be careful. Like, you can't sleep on a team. You shouldn't sleep on any team, whether it's the Jets, or whoever. Listen, even the Texans, because the Texans ended up winning, what was it, the week before? They showed out.
Not only that, bro, if you want to talk about sleep on, go holler at the Bills and Jags and let me know how sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaguars
Yeah.
perfect example because that defense came to play that day. Josh Allen was taking Josh Allen down all day. You know what I mean? So you never know who you never know who could win a game. You know, any given Sunday, that is a tried and true statement. You never know what could happen. You know what I mean? Like, and I hope they don't overcome.
You think the Giants are going to get Al Pacino as their new head coach, Joel?
Yo, you know what?
Listen,
right now, they'll do hell of a lot better.
I'm going to tell you right now the smart way to do this. The smart way to do this is if Gettleman's gone, you bring in a new GM. Okay? Now, in 1 year, a GM's not going to be able to do anything. Even if you can scrap the whole process, he's not going to have really a good idea of what goes on. So that new GM should really just sit in the office for 1 year. Let Joe Judge run this team one more year. If he wants DJ, great. If he doesn't, if he wants to do something different, let him. As long as it doesn't cost too much draft capital or any draft capital. Keep a limit on it. But you let Joe Judge coach this team again. Okay, 1 more year. Let's say we run with Daniel Jones. Let's say we get the offensive line fixed, okay, and we're still booty. That GM's going to have a better idea of what he wants to do as he brings in a coach. I do not want to fire a coach again after 2 years because no coach is going to want to come in here knowing that he's not going to have any stability after 2 years. But if we keep Joe Judge around for 3 years, all right, you know what? The guy got 3 years. He couldn't do anything. We gave him a fair shake instead of, this will be the third coach in 6 years. No, we can't do that. Our organization's not like that. You have to show people that they will have stability, they will have a chance, they will have a say, as into how this team is run. If you don't do that, you ain't going to get any good coach. You're going to get somebody from Rutgers. I mean, my God, you're going to get one of their coaching staff, okay? I mean, Tulane, maybe you get one of their offensive coordinators. You're not going to get anybody that wants to come in here. You've got to show people, just like the GM. A GM coming to the Giants right now knows he's going to have 4 or 5 years because we kept Gettleman that long.
Yep.
All right, because we kept Reese that long. There's a showing there that, okay, look, we like to stick with our guys. We don't want to roll them over like the Cleveland Browns. All right, that's something that we don't want to do. I mean, even the Jets stuck with Adam Gase for what, 3 or 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I mean, if the Jets can do it, you're showing people that are coming in. That's why Saleh took that job, man. You think Saleh's going to take that job if the 3 coaches before him got fired after 2 years?
Definitely.
No,
Any coach will.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he still takes it. I think he still takes it. And because, no one else was really looking at him. If we're going to be honest.
I think it's funny that you mentioned Adam Gase because the reason why the Jets were in the position that they were is because Peyton Manning recommended Adam Gase to the Jets. The reason why the Giants are in the position they are is because fucking Peyton Manning recommended Daniel Jones to your team, and you took that recommendation.
Yep.
That's why you got Daniel Jones on that team. Now, I would say this, and I know this for sure because, again, a lot of people thought I was wrong about Baker Mayfield. I said it from the gate. Baker Mayfield needs to go out. There's a quarterback that wants to go to Cleveland. But there's also another quarterback that wants to go to New York, and the only thing that's holding him back is your GM and your coach. You get rid of those two, and I guarantee you'll land Russell Wilson. I guarantee you. He wants to go to New York badly. He wants to go to New York badly.
No,
he doesn't care whether it's the Jets or the Giants. He wants to establish his business in New York. He wants to be there. Your GM and your coach is holding you back. You get rid of him, you get Russell Wilson.
And here's the thing with that. I mean, I don't mind if you fire Joe Judge. I don't think you should. But if you do and you fire the GM and then the GM has a choice in bringing in the head coach, I think the pass in terms of giving the head coach 2 years and getting him out, I don't think that will really matter. Only because if you're going to bring in a new GM, regardless of what happens, most of them wants to bring in a whole new regime. Most of them want to bring in their own head coach, their own offensive coordinator, hell, even their own water boys. Like, they be going deep when it comes to that stuff. You know what I mean? So if you're going to clean house and do it with the GM, my thing is, once the GM goes, everyone goes. That's always been my whole thing. Because there's no point in you firing the GM and keep all the pieces that he put in place. There's no way you're going to keep all that intact. Because it's defeating the purpose. It really is.
Yeah, because you're tying that GM to the previous GM's, coaching staff, like their staff. Their whole career is tied to that previous GM's decisions. So you're not going to want that. Again, you just got to get rid of David Gettleman. You know he's been making bad decisions. He's been making horrible draft picks. He's put that team in a bad position year in and year out. You make a move from him. You make a move from your coach. I guarantee you, Giants fans it might be a little scary. I know y'all don't want that, but I guarantee you, your road will look brighter.
Well, if Russell Wilson came here, that's all we're getting. We're losing draft picks, so there's no offensive line. Everybody that we can't sign, we're definitely not going to be able to sign because there's no way. We're going to have to cut players to get that contract. That $40 million a year. Russell Wilson's the only guy we're getting.
No, but we won't have to pay a lot.
Huh?
I said no one on your team's doing much anyway, so it's not like it's a loss.
Right.
You're not losing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah, so
go
go ahead, Vinny. Go ahead, Vinny. Go ahead.
We should have to pay the whole Russ contract because I don't know what exactly his contract is like, but I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys realize this, but the Colts are barely playing what's his name, Carson Wentz right now because of the way his contract was structured. They're not even paying him that much. They're paying him like a really small amount. So I don't know what.
Well, yeah, that's the Eagles' cap hit.
There was also an agreement that the Eagles made that the Eagles will still pay a decent part of it as well. So if something like that would happen, then that is a good point. Then Russ, even though he's still getting his $40 million, the Giants aren't paying all of it. They're kind of the Seahawks are kind of doing it. But the only issue I have is what you said. The draft picks, getting rid of the draft pick, that would be my main concern. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to get rid of draft picks, honestly. But Joe,
I would say this: if the Giants were smart, I would look into discussions with John Snyder, former Seahawks GM, because they have an issue with Pete Carroll. Because if they have a losing season, he might be on the move. You got your GM, you got your coach, you got your quarterback.
Yep, and I want to issue this question to the bad guys, and because we got 2 minutes and I got to get up out of here because me and Pride, I gotta link up with him. So the bad guys, which is Vinny, Joe, and Logan.
Lex Luthor, man. Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that head, hey, that's a pretty strong head, man. Okay, so your receivers. I want to get to Kenny Galladay in the receivers. Kenny Galladay has been frustrated multiple times this year in these receivers. Do y'all feel like it's more of Daniel Jones not giving them the ball? Do you feel like it's the play calling that's not being successful? What do you feel like, Vinny? Like the bad guys, what do y'all feel like? What do y'all feel like the problem? And why Kenny Galladay hasn't panned out?
We gotta design. Look, I understand Kenny Galladay hasn't been doing his best, but we gotta design more plays for him and stuff because he has not been getting targeted at all. But when we target him, he's been good. So here's the thing: at the end of the day, we didn't sign him to get separation. That's not his thing. So maybe we shouldn't be expecting separation. We should just expecting to throw him the ball. If we throw him the ball, he normally gets it. So I don't know. Maybe he is just doing enough, and he's doing what he usually does. And I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I will say his thing isn't separation. So I feel like it's more targeting. He's definitely been perfect, but we should definitely be targeting him.
I'm just gonna say this: 6, 8, 5, 7, 3, 3, 2. Those have been his targets. He had the opportunity. 6 targets, 4 receptions. 8 targets, 3 receptions. 5 targets, 4 receptions. They're giving him the opportunity. Unfortunately, this isn't Detroit. There are other weapons on this offense that they also need to utilize as well. So I get his frustration, but Kenny, you knew what you was getting yourself into. You knew what you were getting yourself into. You went to this situation knowing you're going to have to sacrifice touches, knowing you were not going to be able to do those super duper highlight reel plays that you did in Detroit because you were able to get like 101 attempts to do it. You don't got that here. And I genuinely believe if they were winning, Kenny Galladay wouldn't be winning. I think that's really what it comes down to. The fact that they're losing, that's what's driving Kenny Galladay to the point where now he's venting his frustration. So I'm pretty sure if he was winning, I don't think he'd be saying anything.
Hold on. I got to interject right here. Because with that, It's the same thing I've been saying the whole time to Giants fans. What did you expect Kenny Galladay to do when he was the main focus in Detroit? With their losing record, their team, they had Matthew Stafford. Daniel Jones is nowhere near the quarterback that Matthew Stafford is. He went to the Giants. What did you think he was going to do for you? He didn't do anything in Detroit. Again, and he's the man. There's no doubt about it. It's going to him all day. He didn't do anything for them. Why would you think that would translate in being anything better for the Giants? He would just be another role player. That's all I would have seen him as. I think the Giants, they hedged their bets with him. They put too much stock into him. He wasn't a good player coming in.
It just comes back to scheme. Comes back to Garrett. That's how I'm looking at it. You got a 6'4" receiver. You got a 6'6" receiver. You should definitely be throwing 50-50 balls down the field. You're not even seeing that.
You want to know what I don't get? Colin Johnson. Like, a lot of you guys probably don't know who he is, but he is.
I know. I love Colin Johnson.
He is 6'8". He's 6'8", and in the red zone, we've never targeted him once. And
Exactly.
Exactly. Guy, he's 6'8", and you haven't targeted him once.
And you don't have a play call for that guy? Come on.
I mean,
he's on a fade route.
Let's run it end around with Ingram down at the 3-yard line and lose 6 yards. Yeah, great call, Garrett.
Colin Johnson is on the left side of the field, single coverage fade route, 6'8", and Daniel Jones is just over here staring down one receiver. Get your head out of your ass, Danny dickhead.
You really want to lose them eyebrows, don't you?
Oh my goodness, man!
That's how a lot of quarterbacks are. When you're doing a fade right, you always look at to where your body is open to. So I don't blame Daniel Jones for that. Like, if you've seen Ben Roethlisberger when he did a little fake spike, and if I'm mistaken, I think it was AB he hit, fake spike, and he turned, he opened up, because that's just where your natural body, that's how your natural body opens up. If it was Tua, and he were to do something like that, where's he looking to? His left. Because that's where he naturally opens. So I don't blame Daniel Jones. I blame the coach, because again, if you have a guy that's 6'8", that's right there. He's got bounce.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Colin Johnson can jump. So
he's like Michael Jordan in his prime, bro.
Yeah, y'all still got Kyle Rudolph. Again, that's another guy who didn't get no looks. He can eat up. He's a beast in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, how you don't see a 6'8" receiver though? How you don't see that dude going against a 6 foot cornerback? They got 8 inches on him. I mean,
this is in the Kansas City game. Colin Johnson 6'8" going up against 5'11" Trevarius Ward, and you don't throw them the ball.
Yeah, you got to at least try. If you have the right coverage, they got space. You got to give the guy a 50-50.
Yep.
But that's it. A lot of this is why I keep blaming Garrett. Now we're finally going to see who's the teacher and who's the student. Which one was it? We're finally going to get a few answers.
Do you think Saquon is ready for it though? With all his injuries, is he really ready to be the main focal point right now? Because that's how pretty much Freddie Kitchens' offense runs. You're going to have to run the ball with Freddie Kitchens. I'm talking about the Giants. You're going to have to run the ball up. Is Saquon ready? Is he ready?
I don't care if Barkley's ready or not. Get Brightwell out there.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. And you Giants fans might hate me. It's time that the Giants start doing a running back by committee. Same thing with Carolina. When your running back starts getting hurt like that, I love Saquon Barkley. I look at him and I want to call him one of the best in the league. But I can't do that anymore. I used to say Christian McCaffrey was the best running back in the league. I can't do that anymore because you could be the best. You could be physically the greatest. Your IQ could be the best of all time. If you're not on the field, it means nothing.
Yep.
So the Giants are going to have to start to turn to a running back by committee, where Saquon is only getting between 11 to 14. That's how bad it's becoming. Because every time he gets tackled, I get scared because I don't think he's going to get up. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have to start putting a touch limit on him because this is getting crazy.
And the thing is, he's still favoring that ankle. He still favors that ankle when he walks. Like, that's scary. And now you have to think.
He's playing injured.
Yeah, oh hell yeah! But now you got to think too. Are you going to resign Saquon?
No.
You resign Jones. You resign Saquon. Again, I feel like that's repeating the same cycle.
I wouldn't mind them re-signing Saquon if it was for A, cheaper, and B, depending on what else they got.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about Joel and Benny and a lot of other Giants content creators, but if that Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker is somehow there in the second round, you take him and grab him.
Jordy Fighter loves those Michigan running backs.
Yo, my goodness, he love him. He love him. All right, so I'm gonna relinquish one more question to the Giants people before we get up out of here, before we wrap it up, because y'all took a good beating today. I know Bird Game 31 got Beanie on his channel. He got to take another beat down on that channel over there. So again, Saquon Barkley, do y'all guys re-sign him or y'all let him walk?
I'm gonna say we either don't re-sign him or we give him a 2-year contract. That's why I look at it. But if he wants more than $7 million a year, just let him walk. He's not worth it. He's never on the field.
I can't answer that yet because it's not his contract year until what?
Next year is his 5th year. Next year is his 5th year option. That's his last year.
Exactly. So I think we wait. I don't think we're extending him now. I think we wait, and whatever happens then, we'll either give him, if he performs well, maybe we'll decide to give him the long term. If he doesn't, maybe we'll either let him go or maybe try to sign him to a 1 or 2 year preview type of deal. But in my opinion, it's not coming this year right now, unless he has some comes back and is doing super good. I don't think we see him get his contract or any really news on him, like a cut or anything like that, until his contract's actually up.
Whoever thought that fall from grace of Saquon, like the one player like I could compare him to is kind of like saying Sean Alexander, where he had like a good burst of 3 good seasons where he's the best running back, and then injuries took him out. Saquon had maybe 1.5 good seasons.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. That's wow, that's a big fall. He's from my area too. That it hurts. It hurts a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's my favorite player. He's been since I wanted him in the draft, but I was younger, so I didn't really understand that running backs shouldn't go that high. But I wanted him because I'm also a Penn State fan, and he's been my favorite player since he was drafted.
He should be a case study for mismanaged.
He was the first guy I wanted in the draft. The first prospect I'd heard about, and oh yeah, I wanted that guy.
All right, Mr. Joe, what you got?
Hard question right now. I mean, I want to keep him. I want to sign him. I think he's a difference maker when he's on the field. That's a definite, defenses definitely have to look his way. It's going to be, this next 7 games, I got to see what this Giants team looks like before I even think about re-signing anybody. I want to see, is it a fair evaluation right now? No, it's probably not a fair evaluation with only 7 games changing everything midway through the season. You got a depressed team. You got a depressed fan base. You got, a lot of questions. Nobody can figure anything out. This comes all back onto Mara's shoulders because he's created this shit show. Logan, what are you saying down there?
I said Barkley doesn't even have 200 yards in the season yet.
Oh.
Yep.
Coming off of an ACL, I mean, I don't know how you guys are, but when I came off an injury, I was real tender on it. It took me a while to come back into it. I mean, this ankle injury, it's not an ACL, it's not soft tissue. He's not going out with those stupid little injuries, hamstrings. He's not going out with, turf toe. He's not going out with, some of these other nagging injuries that these players get. He's only 25 years old. He's got another 3 or 4 years in it. I mean, he hasn't really been used the last couple of years because of the injuries. So let's say Barkley, we do get rid of him, and he goes to another team. This fan base is going to blow up if that freaking guy goes for 1,800 yards. This fan base is going to literally, and we all know how, because, I mean, look at the Eagles fans right now with Kelsey. He's over there in Kansas City right now bawling out. It's like, why the hell couldn't he do that here? What the hell did we do wrong? And when you see that stuff, it drives you even more nuts because that's another first-round pick we're not going to give a second contract to. Another
one. Arizona. You mean Ertz in Arizona?
Oh, yeah,
I don't mean
in
to interrupt,
Arizona.
but I do have to head out now. But thanks for me on.
Go ahead, man. I already know you got Bird Game 31, man.
Yeah, I got that.
Appreciate you, man.
So gotta go.
Appreciate you, man.
See you.
Hey, Logan. Benny's been a long time, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you.
Man, good to see you, man. All right, man. It's time to wrap it up, man. I gotta a show with pride, man. Shout out to all of y'all that came on. Make sure everybody in the chat. It's been a great stream. Appreciate all the love and support. Shout out to Bird man 95951, man. You the GOAT, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Blue City Empire Sports, my boy Logan, my boy mentor Joel, my boy Big Three come in, help me tackle these Giants Giants family. Shout out to him. A great team up. Me and Big Three, we gonna get into it a lot more, man. We gonna get into a lot more. Y'all, I'm put everybody YouTube channel link in the description box so you guys can follow them. Joel will be doing college. We'll be doing college tomorrow. So it's gonna be some big college games, man. Logan, my boy Logan, always depressed. Every Giants loss, always depressed. He just seemed like he ain't had a smile on his face all year long. And my boy Big, man, every Sunday, after the game, we talk about it. We talk about it. So again, man, shout out to everybody, man, that showed up to the channel. And I'll say again, that's a nice haircut by Logan, man. That's a very good haircut right there by Logan. So as we gonna say, man, Coach Donte is out. Saying so long from Coach Donte, Joel, Big Three, and my boy Logan. We out of here, guys.
Appreciate you for letting us through. Hey, and thank you.
Sir.
Hey, man, I just want to say it's been a pleasure to be with you, Joel. You know what I'm saying? I see you all the time. Like, you're a legend. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're a Giants fan, I still respect the legends. You know what I'm saying? I was honored to be on with you.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, we have some good times. You know, we can be fans of a team and still be respectful to each other.
Oh, yeah, always. That's the point.
Exactly. This is how it's done, folks, man. Treat each other with a little respect. You can trash talk, but don't get personal. Like Logan. When you get personal, things like that